Heroes created by people's imagination live and commit their acts of bravery in our program, The Legend of Kazakhs. Legends are an invaluable cultural heritage passed down from generation to generation. The vast desert is very similar to the surface of the sea. The dunes are like frozen waves. And without hurrying, swaying on the move, the camel appears as a desert ship sailing on the sea. Once wild camels were widely used in the south and reached Central Asia and Kazakhstan. They were domesticated more than 4,000 years ago. Now wild camels live in the most remote corners of shrub deserts. They feed mainly on the shrubbery plants and young shoots of saksaul. The camel for Kazakhs living in arid regions were a source of life. Not giving special trouble, they gave meat, milk, and wool. So why are camels so popular with nomads? This is a simple answer. No animal in the world can replace camels in the desert. What allows a camel to survive for centuries in this unfit-for-life desert? This unique animal has various physiological and anatomical features that enable it to exist in extremely dry regions. Everyone knows that a camel can manage a minimum supply of water. Stocks of liquid, they keep not all in their humps, but they have special pockets in their stomach. The large animal feeds on the fodder while eating a variety of plants, not just the camel's thorn. Camels have a uniquely thick wool that protects them from the heat, as it reflects light. Excellent vision helps them to see movement in the desert at a distance of 1 kilometer, and with the help of visual memory, they are perfectly oriented among the dunes. What is stored in the hump of the camel? The spine of the camel is straight, despite the presence of humps. The accumulated fat in the humps not only supports the camel during a hungry period, but it also helps to regulate the body's temperature, which is very important in hot desert conditions. It is able to drink up to 200 liters of water at a single time, and then not drink for a long time at all. The unusual structure of the camel's nose makes it possible to regulate fluid loss, and during sandstorms, the camel can completely cover its nose, so that the sand does not accidentally get inside. And they have extremely subtle sense of smell, which allows them to feel the water at a distance of more than 50 kilometers. The interesting shape of the lips of the camel gives them the opportunity to eat even the hardest and thorny plants without damaging their mouths. Camel's milk is extremely dense and it never folds. The value of milk is very high. By the content of vitamins and iron, it is superior to the cow's milk. Kazakh nomads traditionally prepared a drink from camel's milk, which is called shubat. For this purpose, a leaven is put into a leather sack, to which the fresh milk of the camel is added. After some time, the contents are thoroughly mixed and put on the table. How did the camel appear in the Kazakh steppe? Let's hear a legend about it. Once upon a time, coming down from the green hills slowly, moving legs, an unherd camel came down the pasture. It was not like anything else. not a horse or a donkey, not a ram or kulan. The animal appeared on the river and, scooping up water with its large lips, began to drink. Suddenly someone neighed loudly. "Neigh, oh!" The animal stopped drinking. The long neck curved and the ugly head with its protruding little ears turned to the loud sound. "Yay, ho! Ha ha!" The fowl laughed, showing his strong white teeth. "Who are you? I do not know you." The big black eyes stared at the colt. "I do not know who I am either," the animal answered sadly. "How can you not know who you are?" "Well, I was lost when I was very young, so I do not remember who I am. Now I'm walking all by myself." "Yes, you are of course very, very strange," the colt cried, and stroking his long, slender legs, approached him. "Your feet look like mine," he said, "but they are some sinewy, and you have calloused paws. And you also have a tail, but it's too thin, not like my thick, silky tail." The fowl carefully examined the unprecedented animal and continued to reflect. "And you like to have a mane, but you can't call it a mane. These are just tufts of wool. So who are you?" "I do not know," the animal answered, and clapped his long eyelashes. "I'm a horse, and when I grow up, I'll be the fastest one. No one can keep up with me." "Are you fast?" No, the animal said. "So now I can see clearly that you're definitely not a horse." The animal shook his head and turned to leave. "Where are you going?" "I'll go on. Maybe someday I'll meet someone who will tell me who I am." "Wait," the colt cried. "Come here. I'll introduce you to my friends. Maybe they know who you are." "Come, horse, I'm not in a hurry." The fowl led the animal through a flowering valley and told him on the way all about his home, how they live all amicably and happily there. After a while, they reached the ravine and saw a sleeping donkey in the shadow of a low tree. "Nay, ho, donkey!" the fowl cried loudly. "Get up! Why are you lying down there? Look who I've brought with me." The donkey reluctantly opened his eyes and jerked his ears. But when he saw the unusual animal, he immediately jumped in his place. "Wow!" the donkey exclaimed. "Who are you?" "He doesn't know," the fowl interrupted. "He doesn't know who he is, what his name is. But maybe you know who he is?" "What is that on your back? It's like two mountains," the donkey asked, looking at the animal from all sides. "And why do you need them?" "I do not know," the animal said, shaking her head. No, you're definitely not an ass. We do not have such hills on our backs. Here I am. I am an ass. Look at me. I'm very handsome and I can lift weights. And you?" No, the animal said again. "Maybe we should ask the kid," the fowl suggested. "He might know." "Come on, let's go ask," the donkey agreed. The fowl and the donkey and the strange animal went along the steppe in search of the kid. Near a small streamlet they saw him, pinching grass. "Nay, hi-oh! Yeah, they all shouted. The kid lifted his head and turned around. "Look, kid!" exclaimed the fowl. The goat jumped over to them and stared at the unseen animal. "I met him by the river," the fowl proudly exclaimed. "He doesn't know who he is and where he comes from. You climb high into the mountains and you see a lot from up there. Maybe you know who he is?" "Yes, I certainly know a lot, but this is the first time that I've seen such a wonderful sight." "Look," the donkey said with a laugh. "Ha ha ha! Yes, you are alike, head and ears." "What are you talking about?" with fervor exclaimed the baby goat. "I do not look like this ugly animal. Look at his huge lips. They hang almost to the ground. I'm a goat. He doesn't belong in our family. No one had such a mouth. I'm clever. I can climb into the sheer mountains. And do you know how to do that?" "No, no," the animal answered, shedding even more words than he heard. "What shall we do with you?" the fowl asked his friends. "Let's let him stay with us. We've got clean water in the river and lots of juicy grass," the baby goat answered. Winter passed, and then spring and a hot summer came. From the agonizing heat, the whole valley was deserted. The grass grew yellow, and the streams dried up, and all the animals began to languish with drought and hunger. Many animals left in search of water and food. The fowl, the donkey, and the goat, as well as the strange animal with whom they had become close friends during this time, decided also to go out and look for water. Early in the morning, they got ready to go. They went by day under the scorching sun, and at night under the yellow of the moon. They passed through the entire valley and the mountain ranges, and found themselves in front of the deserted, lifeless plain. The animals thought what to do, to turn back or to go ahead. They thought for a long time, but there was no point in going back, and they decided by all means to go forward. The long and hard journey exhausted everyone. They only drank a few drops of water each day from parched creeks and lakes, and each one ate a stalk of dry grass. The fast fowl first galloped ahead of everyone, but his hooves were not adapted to run along the sand, and the camel came quickly behind him. "I am the fastest among you, but I can't run so long under this scorching sun without some pure cold water. I'm tired and I'm not able to get up." The fowl began to speak in embarrassment. "I'm the hardiest of you," the donkey said. "Sit on my back and I'll carry you." The fowl sat on the back of the donkey, and they continued on. Their hooves were drowned in the land mixed with sand and dust, and the farther they went, the more sand and less hard the ground they encountered. The baby goat's legs buckled, and he paled into the thin, pitiful voice. "Oh, I'm so clever and brave. I can even climb the highest mountain ranges, but I can't walk on this quicksand. My hooves are getting stuck in it, and I can't go on." "Sit on my back," the donkey said. "I am the strongest and hardiest among you." Only the strange animal did not complain once. He didn't ask for food or water. And the kid climbed onto the donkey's back. The friends continued on their journey. They passed another half day of this difficult journey, and then the donkey fell to the ground. "Oh, how tired I am, even though among you I'm the most enduring." And they cried bitterly that they would perish in the desert. "Come and climb on my back," said the unusual beast all of a sudden. "I'm not tired at all. I do not want to drink yet. I've eaten the thorns along the way, and now I'm full of energy." Surprised, they all looked at this strange friend and climbed onto his back. For so long the animals walked through the wilderness, knowing neither fatigue or hunger nor thirst. The desert ended, and they went out into the valley, which was covered with a carpet of luscious green grass, in which, sparkling in the sun, many streams ran with clean and cool water. They couldn't believe their happiness. The unusual animal went down to the ground, and his friends dismounted from his back. For a long time they thanked their friend for their salvation. "I thought I was the strongest," the donkey said, "but I'm not. The strongest and the hardiest is you. And I thought I was the fastest, but it turns out that I cannot run so fast on the sand like you can," the fowl said. "So you are the fastest one of us in the desert." "Yes," exclaimed the baby goat. "I thought I was the most dexterous, but I could not pass on this sand. It means that the most clever one is you. You, it turns out, are great. The one who wanders on the earth in search of himself." "Exactly," the fowl cried. "Now, my friend, we will call you Camel. That is the great wandering traveler." And and Aksakals say that from that time, camels appeared on the Kazakh steppe. A camel is a large animal, weighing almost 800 kilograms. His body is covered with camel's hair. On his fingers there are no horn formations. The hooves on the sole of the feet are callous and thickened. There are two types of camel, one-humped and two-humped camels. The wild camel is characterized by a wide migration during the day. Most of the night and midday camels rest. Camels are most active in the morning and evening hours. The conditions of the habitat make the camels unite in a herd. In such a herd there is a male leader and several females. The young female carries a baby for more than a year. The camel is born into the world covered with fur, and it has good eyesight. Immediately after birth, the baby tries to get up and stand on his feet. The camel feeds its baby for more than a year, giving it 4 to 5 liters of milk a day. At 5 years old, the camel reaches puberty and is considered completely independent. Camels live, as a rule, up to 45 years. This animal survives in very severe conditions, where in the daytime the air temperature can exceed 40 degrees, and at night fall to -40. Usually the composition of the blood of a camel is such that it does not cause slowdown in circulation, even in the case of a small amount of water in the body. In addition, his body is distinguished by a higher content of albumin, a protein that increases the endurance of the body during dehydration, and erythrocytes. The red blood cells of the blood circulating through the vessels have an oval shape, so in the absence of moisture, they retain fluidity. When the red blood cells of other animals collide with each other and, as it were, stick together. The camels are only mammals in the world with red blood cells in this form. If necessary, the camel can live without drinking water at all, bypassing the moisture obtained from the plants they eat. Animals tend to bypass large areas and tear off several leaves from each plant. This type of nutrition reduces the load on plants. For a day, a camel can eat 30 to 40 kilograms of food. Camel's wool in the sun can be warmed up to 70 or 80 degrees, while the camel himself will calmly maintain a body temperature under 40 degrees, without even a sweat. The body temperature of the camel varies during the day. At night it decreases, and in the daytime it rises. The endurance and strength of the camel allows them to carry a load 1.5 times their body weight, passing 30 to 40 kilometers a day. Without cargo or with one rider, an adult camel can easily pass 100 kilometers a day, walking at an even pace. This unique, uncomplaining animal has been faithfully serving man for several millennia, helping him in the most difficult of conditions. This is the camel, an old and devoted friend of man.